What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sarlacc Digest, and this is one of our special recorded sessions that we're doing. Scott and I, back in June of last year, started a series of collecting, right? Like, I don't know if everybody remembers, but I'll put the link in the description about part one. And it's all about Star Wars. Well, to me, it was about vintage Star Wars collecting and starting a new, I don't know what you call it, Scott, a new venture or something like that. And I tasked you with being my veteran toy bookie, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, right? Like trying to like, in today's world and today's market, how does one start a vintage toy collection? And as you see behind us, it doesn't stop there, right? It goes with everything. So I mean, every line you can think of. I know that, Scott, you have a G.I. Joe collection, you have a Mask, Transformers, all vintage and modern, and it just gets out of hand.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously,
So we explored tips and tricks on starting a collection, going through the motions of like narrowing down what you want to collect, how it does get out of hand, and how to keep things on track, not hurting you. On track.
Stay on target, brother. Stay on target.
Stay on target. So Scott, welcome, by the way.
What's up, Bert?
And everybody who doesn't know, I'm your host, Darth Moocher. And before we get into everything and have an exciting talk here, we're going to bring a special guest in here pretty soon. Before we get on into that, so, I want you guys to, every Wednesday live at 8 p.m., if you're not doing anything, hop over to this YouTube channel. Check us out as we break down everything Star Wars. News, rumors, theories, you name it. Right now, at the time of this recording, The Mandalorian season 3 is going on, and it's just coming to a head. So I just want to kind of do a little house cleaning there, get everybody to subscribe, like, bookmark our page, follow us on all the socials before we get into it.
We've got one of our the prodigal sister of our group, Crystal from Rogue Toys.
I remember her.
She was in a few episodes. I've known Crystal for the better part of a decade, and she reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you know James Coleman?" And I'm like, "The name sounds familiar. I think I bought a Imperial Dignitary action figure from the guy.
I still need it."
Like, So my current thing is I've got a complete loose collection of figures, and I've got a complete box collection of vehicles. Now I'm trying to get one of each of the carded figures.
Gotcha.
Not one of every card back, because Jesus, that would be insane. I'd need a much bigger house.
Right.
But one example of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so through, the Facebook trials, all the different groups that we belong to, I came across James, and he was selling what I needed, and he gave me a really good deal on it. And she said, "Hey, this James Coleman guy, he's part of the Vintage Alliance, and he's got this app he's creating.
The Collector Alliance."
And the Collector Alliance, right. The Collector Alliance app. And so we're bringing him on today to talk about that.
So with no further ado, why don't we talk to Mr. Coleman here, live and in person. Welcome, James.
Scott, Marco, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Good. Yeah. So in our little intro spiel, this is kind of like the next evolution of, to me, in my journey, and I hope everybody's following along with their collective journey too, is like I've kind of exhausted a lot of the what's out there and like on the eBays and the marketplaces, help what I'm finding in pawn shops and antiques. So like I'm at the point where it's like now it's going to get concentrated, and I need to talk to people one-on-one. And I figured this would be a fantastic revisit to our part one, and Crystal reaching out to us, telling us to get hold of you, where you've created the Collector Alliance, which has apps. It's almost like eBay. To me, it's like a Star Wars eBay. I say Star Wars because that's what I'm into, but we'll get into what else this thing does. But this was kind of cool. I was kind of going through your app and being like, you know what? If I really wanted a specific thing, a figure, or want to talk to somebody one-on-one or bid on something like that, I can find it here. And it just seems to be a lot more fleshed out than, like I said, like an eBay where it's here's all my figures and half of them are broken, this and that and whatever. And I can't find what I'm having a problem is I'm not finding the figures I want. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of surfing through your app because your app is now on iOS and I'm an Apple guy. So I do want to kind of give you the floor and how you've created this collector alliance along with these apps that that you got going on.
Well, it all started with VA, Vintage Alliance, and that was a group on social media. And I really had an idea to build an app for a number of years. And it was just on the back of my mind. And I love your cat.
Yeah. He likes to be in the show.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Rusty. Sorry.
Sorry, Rusty.
So yeah, I had this idea for a while and I started Vintage Alliance a couple of years ago, kind of as a beta tester, and it really just kind of popped. I originally started it as a sales page, but people were joining the group without me really trying to build this group, and it just kind of happened. And then we had one member to 1,000 and 4,000, and then we had sales galore, and people really liked it, and the camaraderie was there, and I had learned quite a bit about what it requires to moderate a group of collectors, what to look for,
gotcha,
scams, things of that nature. So I've learned a lot through kind of this beta test Facebook situation. I mean, VA is always going to be around. That's where it all originated, and we do vintage stuff and predominantly Star Wars. But the Collector Alliance is a collaboration with Jared Cope, who built the Star Wars tracker,
which is an incredible app that I recommend everybody with a vintage collection get in there and subscribe to that app. It has helped me keep track of everything, and it's helped me keep monetary an eye on the value of everything as it elevates, lowers. It's an incredible app. Props to that guy, because that's an incredible app.
I love Jared. Partnering with him was the best decision. I had other engineers and individuals to partner with. He was on the top of my mind and the top of my list. And it took us some time to kind of unravel what we were going to do and how the partnership was going to work out, et cetera, and build the team, et cetera. And it got there, and I'm super excited. We also have another partner, Toy Verify. That's Joe Fiore. He's kind of he's CPPA certified in Canada. He can authenticate and appraise items, both for insurance purposes, resell anything you want. So he's keen. I mean, talk about we have a Thomas Sturby in the Star Wars world, right? For AFA that can validate, verify, and it's really deductive logic. You have a piece, let's say you have a prototype or a first shot, you need to kind of deduce where that came from,
right?
What's the trail, what's the provenance of it, et cetera. And I've seen Joe work on some select pieces. I have a Hungarian bootleg Y-wing that is he was able to get in touch with Sheck, the company that built this. They originated in the 80s and 90s. It's a very rare piece. My piece is sealed, but it's actually sealed with a netting. It's really, really bizarre, unique piece. But he was able to deduce that to the originators, the creators of it, and I was shocked. And he just did a fantastic job. So we have that. But yeah, we the whole idea and the premise behind the app is there can be more, there can be better. We've all used eBay. We've all used social media. We've all used Mercury. We've all used all the platforms. And I don't want to seem like I'm bashing other companies or things of that nature. But I will say, man, I sat back and I said, there's better. We can do better than this. And I saw eBay. You can't share your information. You can't share your phone. And you know,
and the vetting is only as good as the person's description. You know what I mean?
It's luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It's Russian roulette. eBay is Russian roulette, and you know, pretty much anybody can sell pretty much anything. Their mission statement. We're totally different than that. We don't allow reproduction items at all.
That's good to know. Yep.
We don't allow pretty much anyone on the app. They need to be vetted. We have a set of rules and accords that, I mean, we go as far as if people bully, bash, commit tortious interference, you know, attack each other through people, they could be alleviated from the app, right?
Yeah.
We're searching for this kind of utopian society, a community of collectors, right? In one place.
Yeah.
So with eBay, we're a little different in the sense of we allow people to communicate and mingle. We want to align collectors. That's part of our mission statement, is to serve and honor and align collectors and bring them together in one platform, not inhibit them from communicating. So we can why don't they want them to communicate? Because if people communicated on the phone and eliminated that middleman, they wouldn't get their money, right?
Right.
10, 20, 30%, right?
Right. So like from my experience, like I said, I kind of in my little intro there was kind of, I've hit a wall in collecting. And it does go hand in hand with what's out there and what I'm utilizing now, as far as like, you know, marketplaces or groups, Facebook groups and eBay. And like I said, it only takes you so far. And that's why I thought this was a great addition to that journey, where I can search, you know, the Collector Alliance app and stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's the Imperial Dignitary I want, and it's got this, and I know it's not a repo, because like you said, if your bylaws and you're vetting the people that's on there, I'm trusting that, you know what I mean? And to know, and actually I think this is a very positive thing. There is a subscription base to this, to your app. I actually like that, because I've always had that thing that's like, you know, people don't tend to spend money to scam people. You know what I mean? They want to, you know, if it's free and they can get in there and they can scam and do whatever, that's more of a problem we have. I like this better, and I happen to trust it better, where it's like, okay, and I believe it's what, $9.99 a month?
$9.99. Buy, sell, and trade as much as you want. Yeah,
that's great. To me, that's, like I said, I'm entering a group that's, like I said, vetted. I can trust the buyers, sellers, and traders in there. And if I can't, then, you know, you have a team intact to filter it out and make a community that's going to be trusting and thriving. I think that's really good. And me coming into that stretch where I'm about to spend some money, you know, some serious money on these things, and I don't want Scott to tell me it's like, that's a repo that you just bought, or that, you know, you could have gotten this and that, you know. And I like that, where there's a concentrated effort on that, it's available, you know what I mean, and it's there for me now as my journey. And actually, for anybody who's listening to us, it could be there from the start of your journey too, because I've been searching, you know, searching the app and stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff that I was like, I should have gotten there, you know, oh man, that's a great price, or the buy it now prices, or the deal or no deal stuff that you have on the app, right? You don't see the price. There's ones that you don't see the price, right? You bid, and there's like that. So that sniping, and you know what I mean? Like I like that so much better.
It's public. It's right. You know, it's public. It gives the market the opportunity to drive the piece.
Yeah.
And you know, so we have those two methods. We do have aspirations and plans to build live auction as well as an auction house. So we will literally have the market in the whole. We're the first application to have the deal or no deal available.
Yeah.
with the live and public offerings, where it's really the market just driving it. eBay has make an offer, but it's all private, right? So we don't see the 45 offers that somebody received on the item, or the 2 offers that somebody received on the item, right?
Exactly.
They'll tell you, oh, I had an offer, it's such and such. I don't know if that's valid or accurate, but we have that. We're the first to offer that. But there is social media. We use social media too to buy, sell, and trade. And I run a group that is based off of social media, which is now, it's trademarked. It's an LLC. It's its own entity. So VA is it's bona fide. It's not just a Facebook group. And it's really, now the way I look at it is, the Collector Alliance is kind of the umbrella that covers the VA as well. But with what we see on social media, a lot of it's self-contained, right? And you have a set of rules, and a lot of groups follow these rules. And we've seen a lot of good things, but there's a lot of issues with social media that are not only monetary, but they're also social issues that we see. For example, I'll get into the social first. There's price bashing, laugh emojis. You post an item, people will, somebody posts an item and they think the price is high, they'll laugh emoji, they'll demean it, they'll demean you. Maybe they don't like you. You said you voted for Ronald Reagan in the 80s. They don't like you still, a
lot of opportunities, right?
You like the Chicago Bulls, but they like the Orlando Magic. I mean, but people really do. Social media, there's this unhealthy level of competition, judgment, and problems that we see. And sometimes I'm like, let's just get back to the collecting, man. That's what we're here for.
That's right.
Hey guys, it doesn't matter if you love such and such president or hate such and such president. What are we here for? This is our escape. This is our collecting community. I also run a business, right? I don't want to deal with the social aspect of that. I kind of want to have fun. I want to make money. I want everybody.
You have that responsibility to your customers who are there buying, and the sellers too. And I kind of like that too, where there's a platform that's protecting the sellers too. Like you said, with people not coming out and just because they had a bad experience with this guy on Facebook, whatever. Now it's like this. Oh, he's canceled. You know what I mean? And
they all try to cancel each other. If they get jealous, you get a good deal on a large collection, or you get a price or whatever. There's jealousy, and it's just and it makes grown men act so wild. Right.
Oh man, I've seen, especially in the GI Joe community, because like we were saying before, I do have a large GI Joe collection, and just being a part of the boards, not even Facebook, not even necessarily the groups, but the backbiting and the childish behavior that take place on some of the community boards out there, some of the websites. It's just like, oh my God, are you 40 something or are you 10? Let's and
I gotta tell you, like as a buyer, someone who's actively seeking a collection. Again, this is my third time going and buying this kind of collection. You know what I mean? That I've sold and bought and sold. But as somebody that's doing that, I don't want to be in a kindergarten class doing it. I don't want to be discouraged. You know what I mean? I want to go in there and, oh, that's a good price. Oh, I didn't win it. Okay, well, I know that it can pop up again because it was there in the first place. And just, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of encouragement in the market in this kind of field, just like Scott was saying. That you get into when you go deep into like actual groups and they're concentrated and then they're all clicked out and all that stuff, and it becomes discouraging. And some people make a living on this. Some people want to help the community, like you said, with the no repro. That rule, there's people who buy it and they have their rules and their market. That's fine, as long as they know what they're buying. If this rule is, then I know I can come to this place and be like, look, I'm getting this figure and I know it's vetted to the best of your capabilities and whenever those people are weeded out. You know what I mean? Just, you have to trust the system and do your own research too. Yeah, I appreciate, like I said, on both hands on it. Like it's a platform that actually protects the sellers, gives them a platform, gives the buyer the confidence of going in there, finding what the ones you want, piecing things out, doing the buy it nows, doing the deal or no deals, the bid. It's a cool concept.
It's really just the beginning. I mean, again, we have the live capability that's our aspiration, the auction house as well. It's where we're at is literally just the beginning of where we can take this. And it's really important for us to grow and thrive and build that trust. And, things might fluctuate. We're going to see what makes sense. Maybe one day the subscription will decrease for buyers only, and we'll have a buyers only and we'll have a sellers. I don't know yet. Right.
I got you. Yeah.
That's all possible. But right now our main focus was getting through phase one. Phase one was building the app, getting iOS completed and approved, getting Android completed and approved. Nice. And it's done. And we're like, wow, we started this 1 year ago. We just hit our 1 year benchmark and literally just finally launched. And our website launched last year, and we've had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sales. And I have had zero complaints about anything. I mean, it's been pretty incredible. And we're not just Star Wars. So, and when we talk about repro, the vision is we should have Gucci handbags and Prada handbags and guitars and instruments. And gosh, even cars. Throw an Aston Martin DB5 on there. Why not?
Sure.
It would be awesome, right? And we have that capability because we're most of us that are collectors, and I'm talking about the collector community as a whole. We're thoughtful. We're kind of like on the spectrum. We think about things. We're deep. We investigate stuff. Whether you're we're obsessive. So we're looking at the item and what's the condition, what is this, and
absolutely.
And I really think that we have an opportunity to communicate with each other through this app and to really hyper focus on the items that are on there and build a community beyond vintage Star Wars, right? That's why we went with the Collector Alliance.
Gotcha. Yes.
Women's apparel, modern, vintage. All the above. I personally, I hyper focus. That's all vintage
video games and
video games. There's some like Nintendo and records. I do. Where am I pointing here?
Right records there. Yeah, exactly.
I can't even. It's all populated. But with social media, we have those issues, but also I've had a few people say, well, why what about Facebook? And I said, well, look, if you don't mind the drama and the issues on social media, that's okay. For me,
exactly.
It bothers me a lot. The only reason why I use social media is because of the groups that I'm in. And then we're already seeing, for about a year ago, I said, I publicly stated this. I believe that we're going to see some serious changes within groups and within social media. I do business consulting and for ancillary income for property firms. And with those companies, I sit down and I look for additional revenue streams for them to tap into that they typically wouldn't have, right?
Okay.
So like, hey, you have a hot dog, right? What about ketchup, mustard, relish, right? So with that, I look at Facebook and I see that they depreciated in value by billions. Okay. And they are going to need to monetize their platform. And sure enough,
right.
Some people agreed, some people, it was very controversial when I mentioned this, but they're already launching this verified at $14.99 per month.
Right.
And I'm like, hey guys, if you don't get the verified check mark, your posts are going to go lower in the feed. So sellers, and it's going to hurt sellers and buyers if that's
100%.
social media for. So there, even where we're at, we're going to be less expensive than social media. And that's not even what it's about.
So I do have a question just to clarify for those watching right now. The subscription base selling and buying, that is where you get that is where the funding for everything comes in, right? That's where you end up making the money because you don't take a commission, right? Or is there a commission taken? Zero commission.
Very, very important to note. Very important to note.
That's the whole point. We see auction houses and I buy from auction houses. I support auction houses.
Sure.
You buy something for $1,000, and after the fees, the taxes, the pizza party, all the shipping, you bought a loose figure and the box is like this big, right? And you're at $2,000 when you won the item for $1,000. And I see the community across the board complaining about that. Plus, auction houses, they take both sellers' fees and buyers' fees. So there's premiums for the buyers, usually 20% and 10% cut from the seller, right? So there's 30% inflation on these pieces.
Right.
What our idea is, hey, we offer kind of in between everything, where if you let's use $100 item, for example. Let's say you bought it on one of the auction houses or eBay. Well, the seller probably walked away with like $70, right?
Yes.
And you paid $100 and you're excited about that, but $30 goes to the other guy as well.
Right.
Okay. If we cut out the middleman, you could have bought that item for $70 or $75, and the seller would have
it enables it to go a little bit lower than 100%.
And that's not going to hurt the market. I think it could dip it just a bit, but it will go back up gradually, right? Let's say if everybody jumps on TCA, everybody's going to make, the sellers will make more money, buyers will pay less. But of course, these are appreciating assets. They're tangible investments. That's what that collectibles are. That, I mean,
and that inflation markup is a factor in well, in my buying experience, but because I'll look at it, so it's $20 plus $5 shipping plus all these other things. I'm like, well, I'll just skip it. But if I know I'm paying $20 and it's going, whatever, we work out shipping with the seller on that end, I mean, I like that a lot better. And as a seller, you're able to mark it down. Just like your margin goes, you can make more money in the long run that way, but you also entice more people. Look, I'm selling this figure for 20 as is, shipped 25, whatever. And that's it, versus like I have to put it for 29 because I got to get all my fees back. And it's funny, like you were talking about Facebook and stuff and how it's going, marketplaces and stuff, because Facebook wasn't making any money. Now it's advertising, and then now it's marketplaces, and now it's going to be all these other things. And I always thought in my head, it's like every platform, nothing lasts forever. And eventually it gets to a point where it's unrecognizable as the day you signed up. And, and that's the whole thing. It's something else will come along and take it over, or do something that's going to speak to how, when you signed up again, and I figured, like, when Scott brought this to me, with your name and app to me, I figured this would be a great opportunity, because to me, it's still ground floor to get in there, and get involved in it, and try to involve myself as part of this community too, as a buyer, and then go on and see how the sellers are out there doing. Because again, right now, if without this, you're, like I said, the first thing everybody goes to the eBay, and then again, you're only vetted as good as the description that they're giving you, and the ratings, and sometimes the rating, people ignore those anyway. So
the ratings can also be falsified.
Oh sure,
It's just, there's so much out there right now that looks pretty, but it's just an empty box with a bow on it. And when you were asking earlier, what delineates us from eBay and Facebook and things of that nature? Well, number one, we're collectors. Yeah. So we know what collectors want.
Right.
But that doesn't mean
Mhm.
just because we're collectors and we know what collectors want, that doesn't mean we're actually going to provide something that is going to help people. But it
Right.
is, because it is in our core values.
Mhm,
Part of
mhm.
our core value is to genuinely listen to the collectors. And what do
Sure.
we mean by that? We have open dialogue with the collectors, and we want that permanently. Can you
Yeah.
call up eBay?
No.
Can you call up so
Yeah.
and so? No, right?
Yeah.
Can you call up Facebook? Anybody?
Right.
No, I've tried to
No.
call Facebook. You can't get in touch with anybody. We
Right.
want that direct interaction with individuals, even
Yeah.
if they want to call and troll us. We want to jump on the call with them, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But no, we'll hang up that. No, but
You have a preservation goal, meaning that you don't want to be
100%.
toxic and be like, well, that was fun, and then let's do something else. No, you have something that you see a long-term longevity with it, and like I said, a preservation with the app and the community itself. So your reputation's on the line too. So yeah, I mean, like I said, that makes me kind of like, yeah, you know what, this is good. This is good for all of us. And again, at the end of the day, we're buy, sell, and trading toys. You know what I mean? Or like you said, collectibles, or eventually everything else. We're not saving the world, but we're trying to make our hobbies a little bit more.
Trying to make it better.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it though. Collecting, man, it's nostalgic.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I have, I collect so many random things. Like
I love it. Rotary phones. Yeah.
Typewriter there and an old TV.
Fantastic.
I love. I just those types of things. There's an ambiance to it. There's a nostalgia to it, and
I'll make a suggestion on the categories. If you have an 80s housewares categories where you can find the cat clock from Back to the Future that everybody had, rotary phones, stuff like that. I've actually looked into that myself, like searching 80s nostalgic furniture or set or something like that. Just because it's where I grew up. It's where Scott grew up. I'm not going to ask your age, but you seem like you are an 80s kid at heart. You know what I mean? So
17. I'm basically 40 at this point in time.
Oh, good. You're right around that. Like I said, but you have the 80s attitude, which is great. I love it.
Call a Zennial. So there's 1980 to 83.
There's that subgeneration.
You're not a millennial, so we grew up basically as a Gen Xer. We're like Gen Xers, like right there, but we're not a millennial, but we're right there.
Right.
So there's this literal sub generation called a Zennial, where we're not quite millennials, and we don't really go with the millennials, and we're not quite Gen Xers, right? Like I didn't get to see Return of the Jedi in the theater, but it was my favorite film growing up, right? And I got hand-me-downs for my brothers, and that's when I knew vintage Star Wars was superior.
There you go.
I played with my G.I. Joes, right?
Good.
But I displayed my Star Wars. That's the way I always was.
Gotcha.
I have this complete Rolling Thunder. You really like it, Scott. I have this complete Rolling. I love the Rolling Thunder.
The Rolling Thunder is incredible. Yeah, it's on my display in there.
It's like 3 feet long. I had one when I was a kid, but it was incomplete. But I got one that was like this guy bought it, assembled it when he was a kid, never touched it. So the canopies are clear, unscratched.
That's great. Nice.
It is such a beautiful. I don't know. I love it.
It's a great vehicle, and that just goes back to the 80s and how you can have a vehicle with giant ballistic missiles that pop up. All these little, is that a nuke? Oh my God! Joe has nukes. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Politically incorrect now.
Absolutely, I love
exactly.
No, but to the whole point of this is, I've had an eBay account now for 21 years. I've been on eBay for 21 years, buying and selling, buying mostly, selling a few things, but buying mostly. And I've been saying for the last 15 years, there's got to be something else. There needs to be something else, because there's only so many basements and attics that somebody can go trolling through to try and find stuff. There's only so many conventions that you can go to. I don't trust Facebook. So whenever I bought from you on Facebook, it was a leap of faith, because I do not trust Facebook at all. I think other than the Vintage Alliance and what I'm seeing in there.
Yeah, that was our first interaction.
It was
acquired a piece from me directly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a big leap of faith for me to trust anything that happens on Facebook, because of all of the overwhelming toxicity and negativity and people just trying to take advantage of people online. There's been a necessity for a third option, or a fourth or fifth option at this point, because there's Mercari and there's other things too that I don't even bother with.
Mercari is the same thing as eBay, just a different. It's a different
reskinned.
Look.
It's reskinned.
It's a different look. It's they charge you. You can't talk to each other. You can't give your phone number. You can't.
And God forbid you go to Craigslist anymore. You could get murdered,
No,
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's one of those things where this has been a necessity for a long time. So you actually taking the strides and these giant leaps forward and creating this thing, which I do think we should pull it up.
Yeah.
So we could give an example of how this thing works. So this is just straight. This is the website.
I like it because it's to the point. Yeah.
So www.thecollectoralliance.com, right? The Collector Alliance, all singular.
Right. And I'll put it in the description below too. Okay. I'll make sure everybody has a way to click it.
It matches exactly what you see on the Collector Alliance app.
Yes.
So what you see is what you get.
Yep.
You can see what's being sold, what it's sold for. And like I said, the prices are there. You got the buy it nows, and you have
Marco, do me a favor, would you?
Yeah.
Type in the search field. There's a search field up in the top right. Could you type in Greedo? Because I've been searching for a vintage carded Greedo for ages that isn't going to, bend me over. Well, there it is, right there. Vintage.
Right. And make an offer. You know what I mean? You want me to make an offer
awesome.
for you right
now?
Exactly. I'll create I'm going to create the account and make my own offer. Thank you.
And
Absolutely.
You can zoom in on the pictures. You can message we have Messenger, so you can message the seller or buyer, whatever. You can go right back. And
it's unpunched. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So And if you're familiar at all with the Star Wars tracker, it's almost the same looking interface as well, which I like because there's a consistency between the two apps, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have a ton of Star Wars merchandise. There's more merchandise than that, more collectibles than that.
There's Naga Hide.
Yeah.
Naga Hide. And you've got recoils right there.
The end. Oh yeah,
that's great.
And there's different sellers have different styles of photos and things of that nature.
Sure.
This one is a buy it now. He's selling it for $25.
That's a great price
for sellers. When you list something on our app, it's faster than how fast Facebook is. eBay takes a while to list something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is fast, and that's what we love about it. I'm super impatient. I love how fast it is. We're faster than Facebook. Why?
I love it.
You can auto-populate your shipment information down there, payment details.
What the hell?
Payment costs. So you under your profile, you can go ahead and get your payment costs, payment details.
Yeah.
Up right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything's right there, no questions.
So every item that is posted, right? All you have to do is take photos, upload them, and a description. Instead, with Facebook, you have to write the description, you have to upload photos, you have to tell them how you're gonna pay for it, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
This is great.
Autograph of Walt Disney. How freaking cool is that?
Yeah.
So
stop right where you're at there, Marco. If you look right there, there's the Han Solo in carbonite that you need for your collection.
So, and not a bad price, honestly, because it says 250.
Yeah, could you explain that?
Yeah, orange means, so make an offer. Orange means it's at 250. The most recent offer was 250.
Gotcha. Okay.
When you're signed in, when it's unlocked, you see the offers, you see who made the offer, and then you can go ahead and make an offer once it's
gotcha.
unlocked.
How long does the deal or no deal or the make an offer usually last? Is there a set time limit, or is it just whenever they say I'll take it?
Infinite. I mean, honestly, and we just, it's the discretion of the seller. And we will be implementing, our aspiration is implement a timed auction where people can go ahead and bid like a standard auction,
right?
With 0 BP, 0 seller's premium. Now there's see at the bottom right there which says verify, under the black, under the the bottom header, to the far right, verify. Yes. So that links you to a verification service, right?
Gotcha.
And you have opportunity to go ahead, and if there's any item that you have in question, for example, that Walt Disney, there's a letter of provenance. There's not a CIB, right? So that would be a great item to say, hey, I'm interested in this item, but let's go through Toy Verify and let's deduce this, right? Deduce this and check it out, right? So that's what we have that a lot of these other platforms do not have.
Right.
There's a lot of people's opinions and stuff, but our Verify department is run by an individual that's CPPA certified.
Gotcha.
He has something to lose, right? And it's not just some guy's opinion. It's a professional. So I love that.
Perfect.
And then if you go, you can also go up and click on see all on the very top on new listings.
Okay.
And boom, we got, there's a Nintendo.
Look at that.
These are all just brand new. Every day we're having new product being uploaded, right?
Yeah.
And it just, I get so excited, just seeing people using it, getting it there. We're filling the refrigerator. We want the refrigerator filled.
Absolutely.
There's more than, as you can see, there's more. You have Ghostbusters there.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Dracula, vintage Lego down there. I want that piece, man. I actually think that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this Dracula right here. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is.
This is gonna get me in trouble. Site's gonna get me in big
trouble.
Of
course. But I love it.
And then if there's ever anything that another member, we're doing this as a community. If there's anything that a member says, oh, I don't like this, they contact support. We suspend the item. Gotcha. With eBay, have you ever seen a fake item being sold on eBay, auctioned on eBay?
Oh, sure.
And have you ever complained about it to eBay?
I mean, I haven't personally, but I mean,
I have.
Yeah,
I saw what was called a Toy Tony. It's if you know what a Toy Tony is, a mock. It's basically a fake. It's partially production, but partially fake. But the community as a whole does not accept it, nor do they want it. Anyway, they're selling it as legitimate, and I let eBay know they didn't do anything. They don't care, right? No. They don't, and it was totally mislabeled, and I knew it was, and I said, somebody's going to spend $10,000 on this piece, and they have no idea they're getting a Toy Tony. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And they're just
like, hey, a buyer, seller, boom, boom, boom. And
why would they care? Why would they care?
Yeah, exactly.
Now stuff is going to happen. We'll have, there is going to be an issue in the future. We're always going to have problems.
Sure.
And it's all about how you resolve them and if you care to.
And the fact that you're thinking about it already is a bonus. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to do this and make this somewhere like, again, like someone like me who, like what Scott said, I've kind of hit a wall in my collection because I don't know where to find him, without going like to every collector's con, everything. Like now it's like boom, 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 and there's
Marco,
yeah,
Marco, go to page 3, 5 down on the right hand side.
Oh boy,
I know you're going to want to make an offer on that. Page 3, 5 down. Yeah. Page 3, 5 down. Just count them down. There you go.
Oh, on the gunner or yak face? I need both.
Yak face. Yeah, right there, man. Right
there. 175. What?
That's an offer. That's a current offer.
Orange is deal or no deal, right?
Right.
You can make an offer, and the other color is buy it now.
Very cool.
So, is there a way to? Okay, so I'm on my own page. Obviously, I'm on my own site here. I'm looking at it. Is there a way to just like, because I get the deal or no deal thing, but sometimes I just want to know the price. Just give me the price. I don't want to play games. Just give me the price. I want to buy the thing. Is there a way to look it up specifically?
You can message them. So the seller can either throw it up as a buy it now, or they, what I do, that enables us to negotiate, right? You can make your offer. Let's say you're like, I don't know, man. I would love to get that for this. Well, a good seller is going to respond to you and say,
right,
thank you for your offer, but I'm looking to be closer to this price range, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And it's up to them to,
I
like that.
Is there a way to search just buy it now items on the site?
Yeah. So we're in see all. So
so right here, if you go to search, you can see.
Yeah.
Like here's all the deal or no deals. Boom. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And then here's all. Yeah.
Boom.
Very
Look at
cool.
that. Easy
I'll buy it
peasy.
now.
Just trying to help people out here.
That's awesome, absolutely.
Man. We have so much product on here, and so many sellers have jumped on, or not just sellers, collectors. They've just been supportive, and they say, I'm going to throw some items up, then they spend time, and so we're there, man. We've built this, and as a community, really, it's not the James Coleman show. It's not the Jared Cope show. It's really been a community,
a collective. I mean, it's a collector alliance. I mean, that's what it is.
It is.
I like this. I am glad that I have this in my arsenal. Like, this is something that again, something that we did, surfing the net, 5 hours a day. This is something where I already have it on my phone. I know that you said the iOS launched this week or last week or something like that. It was like brand new. It was on Android, so they've got you covered. So whatever phone that you've got, operating system, they got you on it, and they have the website too. If you don't have a phone, they're his on the website too. We'll make sure to put all the links in the description below too, so everybody can go check it out. You have our endorsement. You know what I mean? You have the Sarlacc Digest endorsement. And
I personally purchased from James. He is legit, man. Whenever he puts a listing out there, he describes it perfectly. It came shipped beautifully too. So I mean, it was. You got my endorsement specifically, James. So good.
Yeah.
And I even had a live auction tonight on our group. I'm already packing up, and I'm going to finish packing up tonight.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
I am very OCD, and I like a lot of anxiety. So if somebody buys something for me,
you want to, yeah.
I'm like, man,
I'm the same way. Yeah.
They sent me the money. I gotta get it out, right? Like
it's 100%.
Or released until
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree with that. I like your
the ethic,
the business model
is incredible. Yeah.
I like the business model. Like I said, I think it can only help, honestly. And there's a market for it too. So there's, like I said, with like we were talking about generations and stuff, I'm hoping that and we've had this talk on our podcast too. It's like I'm hoping that collecting and buying and stuff, it's not just a generational thing, but if it is, we're around to enjoy it. You know what I mean? And if our kids don't pick it up, then I don't know what to tell you. So
we could talk on that for an hour, but
sure.
Vinyl records this year have surpassed CDs.
Yeah, CDs.
right? For the first time in years, which makes sense because those are CDs are, I guarantee you, man, it might take 20 years, but CDs are going to be, they already are collectible. They actually, Cast is already grading them, right?
Oh, wow.
And I looked some up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, remember the first set of CDs in the 80s that came out? They were the gold label and they're gold. Those are valid. They're going for like $1,000, you know, for like YouTube Joshua Tree if it's sealed, right?
I had Def Leppard's Hysteria on gold. I should have kept it sealed.
You shouldn't have listened to it, man. You should. I'm holding this for later. I bet it's a good record, but I mean, I look. My son is for sure gonna be into something. He's for sure into something. He already loves Batman. So naturally, it's up to us to pass it on, right? And I've encountered Batman stuff, and I'm gonna pass that on to him, and tell him this is the legit stuff, right? And he's always that's the legit stuff. And but then there's superpowers and yada yada, Toy Biz, but I think collectibles will always have a place, and I think it's really important for us to cultivate the younger audience. So the Gen Z and the millennials, it's really important for us to have that bridge built between the Gen X and the Gen Z and pass information, share information as a community. Because if we don't, they'll get into repro and think it's good, and then it'll mess everything up, right?
Exactly.
So, we pass it on. We got to be cool with each other. We have to share with each other. And if we're all, if the collector community is all discombobulated, Gen Z will walk in the door and say, "Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go back on YouTube instead of
taking the toxicity out of it is key, and that's the future.
It is.
Because like we kind of mentioned this, and I see a lot of platforms going that way, going towards where it's like, at this point we're at the death rattle where we don't care, just collect as much money as we can and let's get out of it. On the decline, you know what I mean? And then hey, that just opens the doors for more platforms to come in and do something better, and I agree, man. I love it. Like, there's a lot of worse things people could be doing with their lives, right? We collect plastic and we love it.
It's weird. We're so weird.
Exactly. And we love it. And
change it, I collected when I was a kid. I sold my entire collection at 25. That was the one thing I regretted. I did this quarter century life crisis thing.
Right. Right.
My own, move across the world, schlepped around, tried to find myself and find God. And the one thing I was thinking about was, man, that Star Wars collection. So I got back into it, and it's so weird. It changed me. I was an executive of a multi-billion-dollar company, and I was like, is this life? Is this really life? Like, I mean, even though it was great money and you're flying around jets and blah 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 blah, I'm like, I'm gonna go collect some Star Wars stuff again.
Exactly.
And bro, it opened up like this portal of like, oh my gosh, I remember why I loved this. Oh my gosh. And it just and I'm so when I get into things, I'm like so deep and heavy. Like, bro, I was married and then married my wife again, like when I get into something, it's like, this is it, and I just stick to it, and it just happens. So
nice.
It's
very cool. No, very cool. We, like I said, I'm speaking for all of us here. We wish you the best of luck. You've made customers out of us and fans out of us on the app itself, and just because we are involved in that, and we'll be trying to drive as much attention to it as possible. Especially, we get into on our podcast, we don't get into collecting too much because our Star Wars talk overpowers everything. But we do these little side segments, recorded segments for that concentrated effort, and it has been well received. And I know that there's a lot of people who love just to talk about collecting. Buy, sell, and trade, everything. It's all associated with it. So I'm gonna close this off here. James, stick around. But thank you very much, man. And you know what? Anytime you want to come on to give us updates, any kind of new features that are happening on there, or just to kind of like revisit it again, because I'm sure that we'll be doing a part 3 and part 4 of our collective journey, doing all this fun stuff like we call, like buying plastic. It's fantastic. So besides all the links that I'm going to drop in the description of where you can get this thing and get involved, is there anywhere else that you want anybody like they can follow you, contact you, or in the app itself? Or
they can contact us through the app. I mean, if you ever have any questions or concerns or comments or ideas, you can send an email directly to support@thecollectoralliance.com. If there's a member, you need to report something, you can block people in the app as well.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Right? But if you need to reach out to us for any ideas, we love people. We have this idea box, right? Let's keep the ideas flowing.
Try to integrate it. Yeah, sure.
It's overwhelming because we've had a lot of ideas, right? And we're like, I want to implement everything, but it's when we have that interaction with the community, like it's overwhelming for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to know the community better, and they bring forth these ideas that's not necessarily a thought of initially, right? So we're really trying to say, hey, we want to build this for you and what you want to see. Contacting me directly, James@thecollectoralliance.com, or I'm on Facebook too.
Cool. And we'll put your personal number across the screen right there, so it's like
my personal number, my social.
You won't. Your work history, everything. Yeah. So I mean, we'll really make your life good.
Yeah. Home address.
I'm pretty public with stuff, which is like it's been a. I believe in transparency.
Sure.
Transparency. So
yeah.
But it's also like, there's been some interesting moments.
Very cool. No, we're very cool. Again, I'm looking forward to revisiting this in the future and see where it's going. So yeah, best of luck. Scott, if there's anything else, now's the time. Otherwise, I'm throwing us out of here and moving on.
I think that's about it. You know what? Go out there. Join the Collector Alliance, buy some toys, man. Invest in this hobby that we all love. We are the generation that is keeping this alive. It's up to us to keep it alive, share the love of it with everybody around us, our kids, nephews, nieces, whatever. My godson is a pop collector. I don't want to get into that part of it, but he loves everything to be pristine, in the boxes. And it's great to see that he has taken this love that me and my best friend have and has taken it on to himself, done his own thing with it. So share the love.
Reliving it again. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Share the love with everybody. Go out there and buy some Star Wars toys. Damn it.
That's right. But don't buy our store because,
don't buy the one I'm looking for, though. Exactly. I get angry.
All right, guys. Well, so with that again, look forward to part 3 coming pretty soon of this collective journey. And again, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. is Pacific time, California time. We go live. We go ham on Star Wars. We do it all. So
it's a great time to be alive, my friends.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the pit. And also making comments on this video, like and subscribe, share a comment down there. See what you guys think of it. I'm sure James wants to hear from it at all. That like it's a whole community that everybody likes to be vocal about. So
good, bad, and ugly, man.
Yeah, it's all constructive
at this point in time. Yep.
Yeah. I'll refrain from the bad ones. Then I'll just text Scott. All right, cool. So with that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.